Thank you, everyone, and good afternoon. My name is Taha Hussein. I'm a senior technology specialist here at Microsoft. Welcome to our first webinar session for the year of 2024. We're going to be doing our webinar today on optimizing finance with a focus on extended planning and analytics. Our speakers today are going to be Terry Rowe, who is a principal technology specialist here in the West Midwest, and Jeff Einig, who is senior technology specialist in the East. So, um, just a few housekeeping items. If you do have questions, if they come up during the session, uh, please use the Q&A in the meeting to ask them as content is being shared. And then we will have time dedicated at the end to be answering those questions. But please don't hesitate to ask questions as they come along. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to Terry Rowe to get into it and talk about extended planning and analytics. Terry, please take it away.
Thanks, Taha.
I can see your screen.
Well, thank you, Taha, and thank you to our attendees for your interest in Microsoft. As Taha said, my name is Terry Rowe, and I'm a technical specialist focused on Dynamics 365 finance applications. Today, I'm excited to share one of our latest advancements in Dynamics 365 finance, our analytics, insights, and planning capabilities. These powerful tools enable finance teams to increase productivity by transforming data into actionable insights, helping to improve business performance. These new capabilities seamlessly integrate with the Microsoft tools your team already knows and uses, as well as with Dynamics 365 and third-party applications. So let's begin by discussing some of the challenges finance teams are facing today. Understanding some of the current trends that are impacting CFOs and their teams, over the past few years, the role of finance has dramatically evolved. Finance leaders are expected to drive innovation amidst challenging business conditions like navigating market volatility, mitigating disruptive threats, scaling productivity, and managing global complexities. Today, CFOs and their teams are being asked to expand their role to become futurists and play a leading role in transformation. Based on a recent survey of CFOs, 79% believe that they and their teams play a vital role in owning business model innovation and empowering organizational transformation. In fact, most CFOs see this as their top priority. To address these growing demands, finance leaders must embrace technology to enhance productivity and allocate resources effectively in response to their expanded scope. Leaders must reduce time spent on conventional tasks such as bookkeeping, compliance, or historical financial reporting and redirect their attention towards guiding business strategy. This includes optimizing business models and identifying growth opportunities. Specifically, CFOs shared they are faced with heightened volatility and unpredictability in the business environment. Factors such as economic fluctuations, market disruptions, security risks, geopolitical events, pandemics, climate change, among others, make it increasingly difficult to forecast and plan accurately. In addition, the environment is fast-paced with constant disruption. Businesses are confronted with continual threats such as technological advancements, industry innovation, evolving customer expectations, supply chain shortages, mergers and acquisitions, forcing financial professionals to adapt and drive transformational changes rapidly. In fact, in a recent study by Accenture, over 72% of CFOs believe their company will need to completely rethink process and operating models to be more resilient. The changing global economy is forcing CFOs to analyze markets and develop effective strategies to compete and grow. And all are required to do more with less. The CFO's ability to hire and scale productivity within the finance function is influenced by challenges such as reduction in new college grads with accounting degrees and competition for finance talent, forcing many CFOs to do mundane tasks versus assuming more strategic responsibilities. Given all these challenges we discussed, there are significant barriers blocking finance teams from being successful. Finance departments are grappling with an array of data-related and tool-based difficulties that significantly hinder their productivity, accuracy, and capacity to lead strategic initiatives. Saddled with disparate and outdated data and siloed tools that necessitate slow and laborious manual processes for its extraction and integration. Once the data is gathered, their analytical tools are often complex, requiring data science proficiencies, or too simple and rigid, restricted by outdated ERP interfaces and lack of modern features like machine learning and AI. These factors constrain the discovery of valuable insights and opportunities to improve business performance. In the latest survey of the future of finance trends that was just recently published, it disclosed that 88% of finance leaders recognize the need for better tools to analyze the vast reservoirs of data within their organizations. McKinsey also echoes this finding, estimating that nearly 75% of CFOs confess their companies lacks the capabilities needed for agile decision-making, scenario planning, decentralized decision-making, all skills that will be paramount in remaining competitive in the upcoming years. To support agile decision-making, finance leaders need to solve data challenges and ensure robust and timely insights are readily available at the point of decision-making to drive action. With these challenges in mind, Microsoft's delivered extended business planning and analysis with the goal of turning data into action to improve business performance. To address finance's primary challenge of messy and disconnected data, we offer advanced features to streamline data unification and transformation with optimized data models built on Dataverse, enabling extensive data connectivity delivered timely. Our solution is built to be accessible to all, with the secure cloud access experience through the tools your teams use daily, guaranteeing greater efficiency and autonomy, eliminating manual work and reducing dependencies on our technical teams. So let's take a look at the solution in a little more detail. With our new extended planning, budgeting, and analysis platform, we envision a unified and extensible solution that revolutionizes planning, analytics, and insights. Our approach involves creating an optimized analytical data model that spans across common business processes such as record to report, procure to pay, order to cash, acquire to retire, plan to close, and hire to retire to create a holistic view across the enterprise. Data is easily ingested from Dynamics 365 Finance, HR, Sales, Supply Chain, and Project Operations, along with other systems of record, to create a complete data set across the organization. The data is managed in a secure cloud infrastructure, providing access to any user across the organization. By building on top of a solid data foundation, we empower businesses to achieve end-to-end visibility across their operations to enable informed decision-making and improved outcomes using tools that they are familiar with, Excel and Power BI. Our solution not only streamlines data access, but also paves the way for advanced analytical capabilities like self-service analytics, AI-driven insights, planning, and collaboration. This comprehensive suite of tools helps users harness the power of data to drive performance, reduce risk, and unlock new opportunities. When used together, business analytics, insights and reporting, and financial planning and analysis can create a powerful framework for decision-making. By leveraging data and insights to inform financial planning and analysis, businesses can make informed decisions that drive performance, reduce risk, and improve overall outcomes. For our session today, we're going to focus on the extended planning solution. Business performance planning provides a comprehensive solution across the entire organization, from finance to HR to supply chain. Leveraging our common business process analytical models, data can be ingested, cleansed, and enriched from Dynamics 365 or other third-party solutions. And while many solutions work with static data, the comprehensive business planning solutions provides for near real-time data refreshes to enhance forecasting and accurate decision-making, leveraging common tools such as Excel and Power BI. Now that we've provided you an overview of our vision for business planning, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Jeff, who's going to go through a demonstration of our solution. Jeff, take it away.
Excellent. Thank you, Terry. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Let's share here. All right. You guys see my screen? Excellent. Thank you. So hello and welcome to this tour of the user experience of Dynamics 365 Business Performance Planning. In this scenario, I'm a member of the forecast team and it's the forecasting cycle time. Yeah, that's the time, right? We all get excited about. Here I am in Teams and I received an alert from the planning team lead that the forecast process has begun and can be reviewed as needed. I can review it here in Teams where I've got this alert. I can review it over here in the planning channel, which I am a member of, or in my browser. Wherever I want to work, the work is going to find me. I'm going to find the work. All right. So here, what we're looking at what I'm calling the overview piece of the planning. So we're getting an idea, high level, of what's going on with our current planning cycle. So it is an interactive dashboard, all built on Power BI and in Excel, as Terry had said. So here on the left, we're utilizing the features called slicers in Power BI to dynamically change what we need to see here on our dashboard. In this case, I've built this using slicers for the year, the business unit, the company. Depending on what kind of information you want to see and how you want to slice and dice your data, you would set up your slicers accordingly. Down here on the corner here, I'm going to put this in focus, the planning cycle management piece. Here we're tracking where we are in this planning cycle for each of the areas or models of our forecast. We can use Power Automate, which is a component of the Microsoft Power Platform, to provide notifications to stakeholders, either in Teams or an email, of those changes that require their attention. Here, in the consolidated income statement, we can see how our forecast compares to our actuals, and I'm provided the capability to drill down to deeper levels to see the underlying details. In Power BI, you can get insights from your data. You can get insights from your data, and you're empowered to explore your data and easily create your own analysis from that one version of the truth. Let's say I wanted to see my budget, actual, and forecast information here at a more departmental level. How would I do that? Well, I can come over here and I can use the explore data piece of Power BI and now just start creating that visual. How do I want to experience that data? Well, I want to start with my amounts, so that's easy. I'm going to grab my amounts. And let's say that I want to see the department. So I'm going to go for the department name. So I'm just going to type in description and choose my department. And let's say we want to see it, we said by this in each scenario, so we can compare our actuals and forecasts. And so we are going to we'll look for our scenario. If you notice, I'm just typing in stuff in English. I'm not typing in real technical speak. I'm just searching for that word, scenario name. And there we go. So at this point, I've got this report. I can see actuals, budgets, forecasts. I might want to do a little data cleanup here. I can see that I got some bad data here, that I have some departments missing. So I'm just going to filter out that. I'm going to get rid of the blank data. And now we have a more nicely constructed report. Now, if I take a look at the voila on the bottom here, it's automatically created visuals for that. element. So now I have, in a couple of keystrokes, I have a nice, easy view of my data. At this point, I can save it and I can share it with others if I need to. Now let's move over out of the Teams experience, and I'm going to move into the browser experience. You can see it looks exactly the same. When we ask customers, when we ask our customers, where are they doing their planning today? 9 times out of 10, the answer comes back that they're doing it in their current solution, and then they're importing it into Excel, they're exporting out of their current solution, and they're importing it back into Excel or Power BI. In business performance planning, our front-end user experience is built on Power BI and Excel, with the ability to then write back data to a single source of the truth. By levels, our solution not only offers a user-friendly experience, but also shortens the implementation cycle, delivering immediate value to our customers. The majority of our customers are already using Power BI, which enables them to independently generate their own planning visuals as needed. On the scenario management page here we are using the table edit visual in Power BI to create and manage our scenarios. In many legacy planning solutions, it's very hard for you to create an ad hoc scenario easily. Here, I can easily create a new scenario to be used for ad hoc planning by just clicking this little plus sign. For example, I might just call this on what if. So once I created that and saved that, then I would pop back over here into the bottom visual and I'd explore it. And from here, I can use the copy data wizard to copy information from, let's say I wanted to start with my actuals from last time. Well, I'd start with that and I'd grab my actuals from last time and I would copy it into that what if modeling. Or maybe I'm copying from my forecasting modeling. But you get the idea. It's easy to create new scenarios and then to get your to populate the data with those scenarios so that you can do what if planning and other modeling opportunities. We can also do financial and subledger planning, such as HR and sales also. Connecting all these planning models together will build your one version of the truth. Let's start with looking at our operating expense planning called OpEx here. Here in this matrix visual, we have rows and columns for the users as one form of data entry. What goes in your rows and columns is completely up to you to how you want to design this. Do you want to use production data for a more of a manufacturing-centric view? Do you want to use employees for an HR kind of view? Do you want to use GL accounts? Here we're using what we call GL account categories, which are groups of GL accounts, and the individual GL accounts themselves. But the freedom of how you want to design this matrix is up to you totally. When we change data here, we're not changing actual data. We're changing a version of our data, in this case, our forecast. We are working with that one version of the truth. One of the key elements of business performance planning is the ability to enter data at the top or bottom levels or anything in between. We have different ways of entering the data, like increasing or decreasing by a certain percentage or additively. Let me show you how easy that is to do. So if here I'm my selling expense and I wanted to put in $25,000 for the whole year, there's a lot of these data entry shortcuts. Such as I can say a little r and then put in 25,000. And what it will do is it'll populate that $25,000, fill it across the columns. So there's a whole bunch of these shortcuts like that. And I'll just show you a quick snapshot here of those shortcuts. They're always at your fingertips. Collectively, these all help speed your data input. Now, I can also use commenting throughout it. So a comment, all I have to do is right click on any one of those cells or intersection of data, and it'll allow me to document my assumptions or create notes for others so that this will save you a lot of questions later on. The graphical planning visual is one of my favorite parts of this tool. The matrix that I just showed is very accounting centric, spreadsheet like rows and columns. Some people like me prefer things more visual. I like to say I'm a recovering accountant and don't like the rows and columns anymore. Here I can do my planning graphically by dragging or dropping those amounts, dragging those bars up, and it's going to write back those values to the one version of the truth. Since it is Power BI, we can analyze the data we're seeing in Excel if that is our tool of choice. So here it's going to create a link back to the data in Excel. In this case, we're using Excel for the web. Enable the content. And from here, I can start building my pivot tables. And I'm going to stop here. I know this is a familiar experience to you, building pivot tables, so I don't want to bore you anymore in this presentation with creating one when you already know how to do it. But important to know that we're adding the ability to complete, analyze, and run what-if scenarios in Excel and Copilot for planning. This is the completed one, by the way. Users will be able to complete their plans in Excel using an experience they know, reducing the efforts required to learn a new tool for planning. Now, I showed you bottom-up planning for operating expenses. I'm going to pop over here to sales. And in sales, I'll show you an example of how we can do top-down planning. So in our revenue planning matrix here in a top-down, I can, let's say that I need to increase my sales by 10%. I can use another data entry shortcut. I'm going to a little I, and I'm going to put in 10%, and it will go ahead and calculate that amount. Now I could have done it additively. I said, add $1 million to it. But the magic here is that it is smart enough upon the save that it's going to write the data down to all the children elements in this environment. Now, again, because it's Power BI, I can collaborate in teams on the forecast with other contributors right here to help streamline the forecasting process. All right, HR planning. So employee costs are often a very large component of a company's costs. So HR planning is super important. Most of the actual data for HR planning usually comes from the HRIS system. But in a planning system like this, it's about simulating what you believe is going to happen and preparing for the future, rather than just storing, how much the person makes and all that. In our planning model here, we are using different drivers. In this case, I'm using the drivers of the number of positions in that department or business unit, as well as the salary. And when I specify those, it's going to do the multiplication. So in this case, I could go in and say, hey, I want to, this department's going to have 50 people this month and then 16 the next, and it'll do all that calculation of the HR costs. Now, alternatively, I could have built this to do a more granular model showing each employee to calc all the employees' costs, their salaries, their benefits, and let's say I have their department listed, and then they change the department. I can do it if I change the person's department, their fully loaded costs would then follow them to that new department. It all comes together here where we can see the monthly amounts and trends. In this case, I'm calling it the P&L breakout. Once again, with the dynamic slicers on the side from Power BI. Now that we're pretty much done with the plan, we might want to present this plan in PowerPoint at the forecast meeting. We can use the live embedding capability of Power BI to embed the planning information in PowerPoint. And you can see it is interactive, so I can work with the data here just as I could if I was in the browser. In a manual world, you would have to copy and paste this every single month or quarter into that new board presentation that you're creating. Versus here, creating it once, embedding it into the PowerPoint presentation to have that one version of truth in real time. Any changes that are being made, your PowerPoint presentation is automatically being updated. That concludes our tour of Dynamics 365 Business Performance Planning. Business Performance Planning is a collaborative and integrated planning solution that connects operations to financials, providing unmatched insights and actionable plans. It'll help your company make informed decisions that fully capitalize on your organization's data and provide true extended planning. It'll optimize collaboration to streamline the planning process and minimize effort, ultimately achieving optimal efficiency for the organization. It offers a familiar and productive user interface by using the tools that you already know and love, such as Power BI and Excel. Last but not the least, it reduces complexity and cost by eliminating manual processes and streamlining data aggregation. Thank you for your time today. Taha, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Jeff. That was very cool presentation. I especially like the part where you can interact with the Power BI dashboard in real time inside of PowerPoint. I think that's very, very neat.
Great.
So with that, we'd like to ask if there are any questions, please ask them. So we have one question from the audience. Can you input budget forecast data in Excel? Terry or Jeff, if you would like to answer that.
So our Excel add-in that will be shipping, I believe the current schedule is the end of this month, will have that capability to do the data entry in an Excel interface.
Thank you for answering that.
You're welcome.
Please enter your questions if there are any other questions.
And because just to add on, just because that is Excel, it'll also be able to use the Copilot features available in Excel as well.
That's very cool. And allow folks who are not that, savvy with Excel to be able to leverage Copilot in Excel to slice and dice their data or create formulas that they might need. So that's very, very exciting. Well, seeing no other questions and us being at time, I just want to say thank you to our speakers. We really, really appreciate it. And thank you to our attendees. Thank you for attending. We will be sharing the recording of this call after the fact, but we really appreciate your time today. Thank you and have a great day. Happy Friday and have a great weekend.
Okay.